Now available in paperback and Kindle Unlimited. Isis, All That Glitters. The goddess next door takes on a bikini-clad bank robber in this action-packed all-new Isis series adventure. Get Isis, All That Glitters in paperback and Kindle Unlimited today. One of my viewers wanted me to talk about the hijacking of rap and hip-hop from foundational Black Americans, and a textbook example of how your whites and non-blacks have hijacked rap and hip-hop from foundational Black Americans is the story of the AI rapper known as FN Meka. Now, this FN Meka was a program created by whites in the entertainment industry, and it was sold to Capitol Records to be able to create rap music without trying to contact or work with foundational Black Americans. Now, as they were making this FN Meka rap program, they took the voice of a black rapper and they did not pay that individual any sort of royalties, and their ultimate plan was to be able to create this rapping artificially intelligent program that would go out here and bust lyrics and be able to entertain people. However, the programmers, when they made this FN Meka, what they did was create a program that basically breathed brand new life into old stereotypes about black men, and this FN Meka basically was one of these programs that was out here presenting images of black men in the street being sagging pants and showing him being the victim of police brutality. And the PR backlash was so bad because the FN Meka was basically like a caricature similar to that of the Black Brute or the Minstrel, and it was basically a rap minstrel show, and Capitol Records was forced to drop the AI rapper known as FN Meka because FN Meka was basically a minstrel image of a black man. Now, the main reason why your FN Meka was a minstrel image of a black man was because the programmers were these white guys. And these white guys were out here making the FN Meka rapper their idea of what they thought a black man was, and it was their idea of what a rapper was. Now, they thought they were going out here and being able to make their own ideal rapper. Unfortunately, their ideal rapper and their ideal is about black people were nothing more than old stereotypes that were made ever since the antebellum South. So this FN Meka is a textbook example of how your whites and non-blacks are trying to hijack hip-hop and rap, and what they're trying to do is put their own narrative on rap and hip-hop and take it away from foundational Black Americans. They want to take away the art form of rap and hip-hop from foundational Black Americans, and they want to erase us from the art form that we created back in the 1970s. Now, back in the late 1970s, rap and hip-hop were created by foundational Black Americans in the South Bronx as a way to express themselves amongst the urban blight that had ravaged the entire borough. Now, as a kid growing up in the burnt down Bronx, I first heard rap about 83, 84, but it had been around since the late 70s with songs by people like the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five and their iconic song, The Message, which is considered one of the greatest songs in rap history. Now, rap originally stood for rhythm and poetry, and it was a way for brothers and sisters to express themselves, to present their intelligence, and to present a positive message that come out of the burnt down Bronx to show that black people still had hope, even among all of the poverty, among all of the abandoned buildings, and the ruins of what neighborhoods used to be. all the raps and rhymes were meant to show that black people who lived in the ghetto were very intelligent, were capable of expressing themselves, and showing that they had skills to make these songs that showed that black people could, again, go out here and tell our stories about ourselves, tell our stories about our experiences, and express a positive message to all of the brothers and sisters out there and give them some hope. That's what your rap was all about in the beginning. However, as rap started to get more popular outside of local areas like the South Bronx, we started to see people looking to make compromises with the mainstream, because originally rap records were not sold in stores like your Sam Goody's or your Whizz's or any of the record stores. No, usually if you wanted a rap album, you either had to go to the shows that were in and pick up a record or a tape out of the trunk of a dude's car, or you had to go out here and go to one of the black-owned record shops like the former Shakulu Shang's Record Shack to go pick up a rap album. And sometimes they would play the rap songs on radio stations like 98.7 KISS or WBLS, but you didn't really hear too many rap songs in the 80s because at the time it was controlled by foundational black Americans, and as it was controlled by foundational black Americans, there was a drive to present a positive message to all of the brothers and sisters out here on these platforms, and that ran counter to the mainstream media. However, some of these producers, they were looking to try to gain inroads with many of the whites who controlled the music industry, and as they looked to go out here and gain inroads with those whites, what they did was they went out here and started looking to gain white acceptance and hoping to get on that top 40 list. So that's one of the reasons why rap went from being controlled by foundational black Americans, and it's also one of the reasons why the messages started to change in the music around 1989. Now, from 1978 or so to about 1988, most of the rap music was very positive, and we went from people talking about the struggles in the hood to the boasting raps of the mid 80s, like 84, 85, where guys were talking about how they were the best, to the lyricists like your Big Daddy Kane's, the storytellers like your Cool G Rap, and your guys who were more comedic like your Kid and Play, and then you had your guys who were a mix of lyricist and entertainer like the late Heavy D. So there was a lot of diversity in rap when it was controlled by foundational black Americans. However, once in 1989 came along, what we saw was a major change in rap and hip-hop, as on the East Coast we had producers like Russell Simmons looking to go mainstream, and on the West Coast we saw Straight Outta Compton come out of the mainstream media studios. And Straight Outta Compton was basically the album that basically changed the entire rap music genre. And what happened with Straight Outta Compton with the NWA was we started to see the start of the cultural hijacking of rap and hip-hop, because once your Straight Outta Compton came out, it was one, produced and distributed by your white record labels, and these white record labels, they went out here and hijacked the message of rap and hip-hop and made this whole genre of gangster rap. Now, the genre of gangster rap was basically the beginning of the hijacking of rap and hip-hop from foundational black Americans, and sadly your NWA, while they were sitting there talking about their frustrations about life on the street, similar to Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, what the mainstream companies over on the West Coast did was they put all of these ghetto and hood images of these thugs who were rebelling from the mainstream, and they put these images out here to be able to hijack the minds of the brothers and sisters, because again, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, they were talking about the message, and they were using the message to galvanize and empower black people to take control over their communities. But what the Hollywood machine did with NWA was they were looking to try to breathe brand new life into the old stereotype of the black brute. And what they wanted to do was turn your Ice Cube, your Eazy-E, and Dr. Dre into thugs, which were just a repackaging of the black brute, and put that image out there for young children to see, and to make this new age 90s rebel come out here. And this rebel was used to hijack the minds of foundational black men to believe that being a thug was normal, but a thug is not what a black person is. This was the start of the hijacking of rap from foundational black Americans. Was 1989 with Straight Outta Compton, and after your Straight Outta Compton, we got the 2 Live Crew, and the 2 Live Crew was a further hijacking of rap and hip-hop, taking it away from its messages of being positive, empowering people, and presenting a positive image of black people, and presenting a positive message in music, and turning it into a pornographic song like Me So Horny. And what they wanted to do again was breathe brand new life into more stereotypes about heterosexual black men. And that's what they did with the 2 Live Crew. And the 2 Live Crew further was the hijacking of rap and hip-hop. And as the decades went by, we started to see rap and hip-hop go further and further away from its roots, and we started to see less and less of the diversity of music and songs and styles that we got in the 80s. No, what we got in the 90s was a lot of the thugs and the gangsters, and as we went into the 2000s, we got more thugs and gangsters. And basically, your rap and hip-hop has turned into thugs and gangsters. And yes, they've got white guys who are also trying to hijack the narrative, like your Eminem. And that's all part of the hijacking. What they want to do is take the art form away from the black community, and they want to make it their own. So they started with the stereotypes, and they started compromising producers, and they started compromising many of the artists. And once they started compromising people, they started selling away your rap and your hip-hop, and it got further taken away from its roots in the South Bronx. And as others started coming in, we started to see the face of rap start to change from black men to white men. And that started with your Vanilla Ice, but then they had the Beastie Boys before that. But Vanilla Ice was the start of it, and then they had Eminem. And what's really sad is that as your Eminem came on the scene, we started to see, like recently, a lot of these black rappers, like legends like Big Daddy Kane and many others, looking to say, oh, Eminem was one of the greatest art rappers of all time. And that also reinforced the cultural hijacking of rap and hip-hop, taking it away from foundational black Americans. Because when you have a foundational black American rapper, an icon like a Big Daddy Kane and many others saying Eminem is one of the greatest rappers of all time, that's basically giving the whole foundation of rap away, because you're saying that you need white validation in order for rap to have value, even though rap was originally created by black people to gain value for ourselves, show our own worth, and show that we have as much talent as anybody else out there. And what's happened is, over the last 30 plus years, we have seen rap and hip-hop not only, as I say, be hijacked by these court whites in corporate America, we've also seen black bootlegs give away the art form. And sadly, as they've given it away, your rap and hip-hop have gone from an art form created by foundational black Americans for foundational black Americans to something that is a pale caricature of its former self, because many of today's rappers are pale caricatures, and they don't even understand the roots of the music. They don't understand the history of the music. It's just we've gone from guys who were true masculine men like the Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, all the way to caricatures like Little Nas X, and even further caricatures like your FN Mecca. So we've gone from rappers who had a soul and a heart to basically a computerized image that basically breathes brand new life into stereotypes that white racists want to see. So your rap has basically been hijacked by whites, and sadly that hijacking was done with the support of other blacks who wanted to go out here and get approval from whites, and that runs diametrically opposed to everything that old school rappers were all about, because old school rappers were all about black empowerment, and old school rappers were about creating an uplifting message for brothers and sisters. But today's rap isn't about creating an uplifting message for brothers and sisters. No, today's rappers, they are basically clown caricatures where we have guys putting on skirts and dresses talking about their thugs, or we've got computerized rappers who are artificial stereotypes. So rap has lost its way, and sadly we had some black people helping to lose its way, and sadly the rap music that we have today has been hijacked from foundational black Americans, and is nothing like, has none of the message, none of the soul, and none of the heart that I grew up with back in the 80s when rap music was out, and we had guys like Kool Moe Dee, we had guys like the Fat Boys, and we even had, you know, rappers when I was a teenager, guys like Cool G Rap and Big Daddy Kane and Heavy D and Kid and Play and Rakim. And it was all about the music and all different kinds of music. And when I look at today's rap, I have to shake my head, because this music is just comes across as, again, something made by a sellout for a sellout, and is basically rap music for white racists so that they can see the black people they want to see, instead of what rap was originally about, showing who we truly are. So this was a video requested by one of my viewers, and they wanted me to talk about how rap and hip-hop were hijacked from foundational black Americans, and I'm hoping that you will learn something about the music that used to be great, because when as I grew up with rap and hip-hop, it was one great thing, and I guess I'm blessed to have experienced what rap and hip-hop was when we were controlling it, because what it is now is a complete clown show. So if you want to request a video like this viewer did, you can send me a Cash App, and if I know something about that subject, I will make that video for you. Just send a Cash App to the link in the description box. Send me whatever video you want to request, and again, if I know something about that subject, I will make that video for you. And if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, Barnes & Noble, the iBookstore, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller.